Luo Feng and Dark Mist Qianyu became beams of light and swiftly flew away. The entire treasure trove was extremely vast. Some of the large lakes in the mountain ranges were over 1,000,000 km in size. From this, one could see just how vast the treasure trove was. How long are we going to fly for? Let's teleport. Dark Mist Qianyu said. All right. Luo Feng replied. The Masha clansmen formed a metal piece between the Cloud Contact Armor and Cloud Contact Armor. After which, the two of them teleported simultaneously. Dark Mist Qianyu teleported first and Luo Feng sensed his location before teleporting. Even though normal long-distance teleportation, it was very hard to sense the exact location. However, Luo Feng and Qianyu didn't teleport too far. In the depths of a desolate mountain range, Luo Feng and Qianyu of the Dark Mist clan appeared simultaneously. Qianyu looked below and pointed at the distant call. Let's go to the call in that canyon. I think there are a lot of people looking for you right now. In this desolate place it'll be more peaceful for now. Ha. Luo Feng smiled and nodded before diving down with Qianyu of the Dark Mist clan, flying deep into the valley. There was a mountain stream within the valley, the water was flowing. Luo Feng and Qianyu landed beside the stream. Hua, are you really the Blade River Emperor? Qianyu looked at Luo Feng and couldn't help but ask. Luo Feng looked at him. You want to know? That's not what I meant. Qianyu said, I don't have any intentions of investigating you. Only I'm very curious. The fame of the Blade River King is truly great. Being able to kill a peak stage conferred monarch with the body of a world overlord, this is simply something that only a unique life form like the insect monarch can do. I believe there are many people in the universe who are curious about you. Luo Feng smiled and nodded. Just treat me as the Blade River Emperor. You're not. Qianyu was stunned. Don't tell me Qianyu's eyes gleamed, shocked. Don't tell me you're a fake created by the human race to intentionally mislead the other races who want to kill the Blade River Emperor? Powerful, truly powerful. This move is vicious. This way, no matter how much effort they expended, it would all be a waste. Moreover, they would be able to protect the real Blade River King. Moreover, with your abilities, the clan would definitely be able to reverse time and space to revive you. This Qianyu's imagination is quite good. Luo Feng thought. Dark Mist Qianyu saw that Luo Feng didn't speak and said, Relax, I won't tell anyone. Sigh. You wouldn't intentionally mislead me, right? Who knows, you might be the true Blade River Emperor. You're deliberately trying to mislead me. You can think however you want. Luo Feng smiled. Call me Hua, you can call me Blade River Emperor, I'll accept it too. You, Qianyu of the Dark Mist race, felt helpless. Let's not talk about that. I came here because I'm very curious about the treasures. Luo Feng turned his head and looked towards the colonel. The scenery in the call was quite beautiful. In the distance, the canyon walls were very steep and dangerous. The large amounts of plants on the walls were also very strange. There were strange rocks and creeks everywhere. Luo Feng observed for a while. Where are the treasures? Luo Feng couldn't help but ask. I've been here for so long but I haven't seen any. There are treasures everywhere. Dark Mist Qianyu teased. Of course you won't be able to see them. What do you mean? Luo Feng asked. Newbie, you really don't know anything. You've entered the glory world and met up with our friends from the Great Alliance. We'll chat more and naturally you'll know more. Let me tell you some general knowledge. Dark Mist Qianyu pointed around. The absolute warriors of the Ancestral God Sect can all leave treasures and hide them in certain places. After they're hidden, they'll set a condition. As long as a warrior meets the condition, the treasure will automatically open up when they reach the place. Automatically open? Luo Feng was curious. The treasures are dead objects, how would they know if we meet the condition? You don't understand. Dark Mist Qianyu pointed into the sky. The entire area of the five-color lake is under the control of the Ancestral God Sect. As long as you're in this area, whatever you do, the Ancestral God Sect's secret control system will know. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Right, he knew everything that happened in the Star Tower. Where the warriors were, what they did, everything was detailed. The five-color lake was probably the same. What level is your beast god inheritance at? Your god energy level? Your soul amplifier and body amplifier, you'll naturally reveal them in the glory world. And the glory world's control system should be connected to the entire five-color lake's control system. Dark Mist Qianyu said, anyway, this control system will collect all your information. The moment you meet the condition to open a treasure, as long as you arrive at the location, the treasure will automatically open. Hence, there are two main ways to obtain the treasure. 1, you have to meet the condition. 2, you have to arrive at the treasure. Qianyu of the Dark Mist race laughed. So, you have to reveal as much of your special abilities as possible. Show them in the glory world or in your own mansion. Even though the mansion is your territory, the control system will still know everything you're doing. Remember, you have to reveal your strength. Otherwise, the control system won't be able to collect any information. Dark Mist Qianyu said. Luo Feng nodded as he listened. It was the same for him in the Star Tower. He could have a pair of eyes staring at the warriors in the tower at all times, but that was the most he could do. He had no way to search the souls of the other races, no way to find out the secrets within their bodies, he could only gather information from the surface. For example, if your Blade River Emperor is really a Sector Lord, you can temporarily reveal your Sector Lord identity in your mansion or in your territory. Qianyu of the Dark Mist race said, there are very few inheritors who have come here who are realm lords. I'm afraid there have been less than 10 since the birth of the universe. Every single realm lord who comes here is a heaven-defying monster with the power of a king. This is what makes you different from the others. Who knows, there might be a treasure that's specially set up to be opened by a sector lord. Ha. Luo Feng laughed. He had many thoughts after listening to Qian Yu's description. When I'm in the glory world, I'll gather some information. Newbies know so little. Luo Feng thought. When Luo Feng and Qian Yu of the Dark Mist clan were hiding at the edge of the treasure trove, within a remote valley, the entire treasure trove was bustling with activity. The news of the Blade River Emperor appearing in the treasure trove and Beishan Knight's battle spread like wildfire, especially through the virtual world glory world. Initially there were only tens of thousands of warriors watching. However, from 1 to 10, from 10 to 100, after a while, tens of millions of inheritors knew about it. There were still a few warriors that didn't know because they had shut off the information and were training hard. So, silhouettes appeared one after another from the teleportation pathway. Where's Blade River Emperor? Where's the human Blade River Emperor? The warriors that had just arrived at the treasure land all wanted to meet the Blade River Emperor whose name was known throughout the trillions of races in the universe. He slipped away. This Blade River Emperor and the Dark Mist race's Qian Yu Emperor slipped away together. Are you sure you didn't make a mistake, that human is really the Blade River Emperor? Right, definitely right, many of the races have confirmed that he's the Blade River Emperor. The human race only has one race and there are only so many Emperor-level warriors, and Genius Emperor-level warriors are even rarer. To produce one Blade River Emperor is already incredible. Don't tell me there's another hidden and powerful Emperor-level warrior? Thinking about it, it was obvious that the probability was shockingly low. Coincidentally, the Saber River King also cultivated the beast god Dao. Could it be that these two peerless geniuses both had hidden identities, rose up in the same era, and both cultivated the beast god Dao? Haha, only an idiot would believe that. That's definitely the Blade River Emperor. Yes, that makes sense. Let's hurry up and meet this Blade River King. It said that the demon race, machine race, and insect race all offer a shocking bounty, especially the demon race. They even took out a supreme treasure. Although it barely reaches the threshold of a supreme treasure and is useless to those high and mighty masters of the universe, it is enough to make the universe venerables go crazy. Even though the treasure land was vast and vast, there were after all too many warriors. Not long after, Luo Feng and Qian Yu Emperor were discovered. Look, that's not Qian Yu Emperor. Right, it's him. That black armored human beside him is definitely the Blade River Emperor. The Blade River Emperor is a sector lord? But why can't I tell? Everyone says the Blade River Emperor has a treasure, hiding his sector lord energy. 3 silhouettes fiercely swooped down, rushing straight into the valley. Luo Feng and Dark Mist Qian Yu looked up, seeing the 3 silhouettes almost instantly before them. I was still discovered. Luo Feng shook his head. He originally wanted to explore this place with countless treasures hidden, but now it seems like he couldn't. Blade River Emperor. The 3 silhouettes were all about 1.6 m tall, their waists and backs were extremely broad, their muscles extremely developed, almost like they were carrying shields. They too had 6 thick arms and 6 eyes, all staring curiously at Luo Feng. Almost as though they wanted to see just how mysterious this sector lord level human who could kill an emperor level warrior was. Are you Blade River King? Suddenly one of the experts wearing dark green armor asked. Of course he is. He definitely is. The other 2 replied immediately. Luo Feng laughed at the situation. 3 Tappy race warriors, what business do you have with Blade River Emperor? Don't deny it. It's impossible for 2 peerless geniuses to appear in the human race at the same time. Moreover, both of them are geniuses who have been hiding, and both of them cultivate the path of the beast god, said the expert from the Tappy tribe who was clad in dark purple armor. The dark green armored Tappy race warrior stared at Luo Feng. I've heard of your legends, however, I don't believe it. Your human race's life and genes have always been normal, not even special life forms. No matter how high your origin law comprehension is, no matter how powerful your techniques are, if your body and soul aren't strong enough, you're definitely not a match for an emperor-level warrior, much less kill one. Legends say you're a sector lord, I don't believe it. I'm afraid this is a rumor spread by you humans. The dark green armored Tappy undying 6 eyes observed Luo Feng, after which he sneered, a sector lord killing an emperor-level warrior, is that something you humans can do? You suspect the Blade River Emperor isn't a sector lord? Luo Feng asked. Then why did the demon, bug and automaton race believe him so easily, even going so far as to publicly place a bounty on him? Do they really believe him so easily, even willing to take out treasures for the bounty? Who knows, it's probably because you humans are too good at deceiving. Right, you are the pinnacle races, what can't you do? The leading Tappy undying looked at Luo Feng. Actually you don't have to say much, as long as you reveal your sector lord energy, then we will truly believe you, we will even apologize to you and express our respect for you. The 3 Tappy undying looked at Luo Feng, almost as though waiting for him to reveal his sector lord energy. Qian Yu, I'll return first. Luo Feng turned and said to the dark mist Qian Yu beside him. The other warriors will probably find this place soon. Qian Yu nodded. Human. 2 of the 3 Tappy undying immediately shouted. You 3. Luo Feng glanced at the 3, revealing a mocking smile. You guys are really stupid, I didn't deny it, but neither did I admit that I'm the Blade River Emperor. What's more, it's none of my business whether you believe me or not. So, Luo Feng's body flashed and he immediately vanished. You. The 3 Tappy undying wanted to curse, however Luo Feng had long left. Dark Mist Qian Yu too sneered, glancing at the 3 Tappy undyings and vanishing too. This Qian Yu Emperor is too arrogant with us. The three Tappy warriors gritted their teeth. The dark green armored Tappy Undying looked at the other two beside him. That Blade River Emperor is really careful. He hasn't denied it or admitted it. He seems to be even more disdainful about revealing his Sector Lord energy. Looks like we've failed to confirm his identity. Report to the higher-ups. The three Tappy warriors broke through space and left. Within the treasure trove on the mountain peak with the pathway, Luo Feng had just teleported there, attracting the attention of the distant foreign race warriors in midair. It's a human. Look, it's the Blade River Emperor. He is the Blade River King? Immediately there were foreign race experts flying over, some shouting, Saber River King wait. There were also some shouting, human. However, Luo Feng just stepped into the teleportation pathway and vanished, causing many warriors to shake their heads helplessly. After returning to Circe's island, Luo Feng quickly teleported back to his mansion and closed the door. I didn't expect to be suspected so soon. Luo Feng arrived at the second floor of the first building. There was a praying mat on the ground, but it was empty all around, allowing him to look down at the garden, pond and pavilion. Luo Feng sat crossed-legged, gazing below. Being suspected isn't out of my expectations. Two hidden absolute geniuses from the same generation, and both train in the beast god path, the chances are indeed too low. Even I don't believe it, much less the other races. Luo Feng said softly, after which he flipped his hand and the quantum computer appeared. This was the sensor receiver of the virtual world glory. Let's see the difference between this glory world and our human virtual universe. Luo Feng thought. His consciousness passed through the sensor receiver and quickly connected to the virtual world of glory. Glory world, at the edge of the plaza, a silhouette appeared out of thin air. In his hands was a black book. Luo Feng looked at the black book in his hands, laughing to himself. This is interesting. The virtual universe relies on the virtual assistant to realize many functions. This glory world, however, relies on this book. Luo Feng flipped open the black book. The first page only had the word, name. The rest was empty. The words were in human common language. Please fill in your name in the glory world. As Luo Feng flipped to the first page, a voice resounded in his mind. Name? Luo Feng hesitated for a moment before replying, Saber River. Since countless warriors thought he was the Saber River King, then he would use this name whether it was real or fake, it didn't matter. Luo Feng flipped to the second page. The second page was a map of the glory world. Simultaneously a voice resounded in his mind. The glory world is split into two spaces. One is the Plaza of Glory, the other is the battle world. As long as one is within the Ancestor God secret area, they can connect to the glory world. My God, so small? Luo Feng muttered. There are so few functions. Luo Feng thought. There was no way to compare. Compared to the virtual universe, if the virtual universe was a skyscraper, then the glory world would be a small hut. The area covered was only the Ancestor God secret area, and the glory world only had two places, the plaza and the battle world. There weren't even many places to stay or shop, and the human virtual universe was much more flourishing, with countless spaces. The functions were incomparably flourishing as long as you couldn't think of it. There was nothing the virtual universe didn't have. Glory world rankings. Glory points. Glory points can be used to exchange for inheritances. Luo Feng flipped through it briefly, understanding a little. If he wanted to obtain additional inheritances, he would have to come to the glory world. The glory world rankings were split into 7 rankings. They corresponded to the first level rankings, the second level rankings, the 7th level rankings. The inheritors of different levels were naturally placed into different rankings. They were ranked according to the number of wins and losses. As for Luo Feng, he was currently at the bottom of the 3rd level rankings. 0 wins and 0 losses. Of course there were even worse than Luo Feng, like 0 wins and 1 losses, 0 wins and 2 losses, etc. The functions are rather simple. Luo Feng thought, the Ancestral God Sect, creating such a simple virtual world, it's just a place for us to gather. Plaza? Luo Feng looked over. This plaza was actually an outdoor bar. All sorts of fine wine and delicacies were displayed in the center, allowing the inheritors to use them however they wanted. The entire plaza was filled with a dense cluster of chairs, scattered everywhere. Luo Feng looked over and saw tens of millions of inheritors. It's the Blade River Emperor. Immediately the inheritors all noticed Luo Feng, however no one walked over. Luo Feng looked over and realized, these inheritors obviously all had their own groups. There were hundreds or even thousands of them gathered together. Each group was clearly separated between different groups. Luo Feng could feel the tension between them. Where there are strong warriors there will be fights. What's more, countless warriors and geniuses from the entire universe are gathered here. Luo Feng thought. Blade River Emperor. A figure flew over at lightning speed and hurriedly sent a voice transmission to him. Luo Feng looked over, it was actually a human, immediately revealing a smile. Emperor Chaman. Emperor Chaman was a very low-profile emperor within the human race. Even though his strength wasn't considered invincible, comparable to a normal universe knight, he was extremely close. Back then Emperor Chaman's talent was incomparably dazzling, his rise was swift, he was valued and nurtured by the human race. However, Emperor Chaman was stuck at the last step, unable to break through to universe knight. This had lasted for countless years, causing Emperor Chaman to lose his arrogance from back then, becoming much more low-profile. Many absolute geniuses had such a fate. How many could become a universe venerable? Just like the 7-Blade Emperor who dared say he would definitely become a universe knight. Let's go, our great alliance is over there, these are all from the other alliances. Emperor Chaman brought Luo Feng along and communicated, the race has given me an order, the moment your identity is suspected, they are to call you Blade River Emperor. That shouldn't affect you, right? If you don't call me Blade River Emperor, the other races will suspect. They will suspect you calling me that too. Whether it's real or fake, it's fine. Luo Feng smiled. Emperor Chaman nodded, simultaneously saying, these inheritors are mainly formed according to the various large organizations in the universe. After all the members of the enemy organizations, naturally they won't be in the same group. Our great alliance is all gathered together. Looks like there are quite a lot of groups. Luo Feng looked over, the plaza was indeed clearly divided, hundreds to thousands of warriors gathered, in groups, occasionally there would be over 10,000 warriors gathered, these were probably the huge powers of the universe. What's that group, there are so many warriors. Luo Feng looked into the distance, there were at least hundreds of thousands of warriors gathered there. That's the Snow Border Alliance. Emperor Chaman said, even though their strength can't compare to our great alliance, the Snow Border Alliance is the alliance with the most races in the universe, they have many undyings, many emperors too, even though they are all weak in normal races, with very few strong races within they can't make up for the numbers. You should know too, the Ancestral God Sect's inheritance orders are scattered throughout the universe, it doesn't matter if your race is strong or weak. After a while, they arrived at a corner of the plaza. That's where we are. Emperor Chaman smiled. Luo Feng looked ahead with a glance, there were only about 1,000 warriors, looking at their appearances and special features, they were indeed the common races of the Great Alliance. Only 1,000? Luo Feng exclaimed within. We are elites. Emperor Chaman laughed. Yes, we are elites, we won't compete with them in numbers. Luo Feng laughed too, following which he and Emperor Chaman headed towards the Great Alliance inheritors. Within the demon territory. In the silent space, flames the size of stars were scattered everywhere, enveloping the entire space. In the center was the majestic Sky Wolf Palace. A huge two-headed snake silhouette lay before Sky Wolf Palace, its voice resounding throughout the space. Sky Wolf leader, the Ancestral God Sect's demon inheritors have sent news, in the Ancestral God Sect's treasure trove, they've discovered traces of a human suspected to be the Blade River Emperor, there's a high chance he's the Blade River Emperor. The Lord of the Heavenly Wolf tribe was the highest person in charge of the demon race's bounty on the Blade River King. A celestial wolf figure bathed in flames slowly walked out of the celestial wolf hall. Detailed information. Lord Skywolf looked down at the huge snake that was crawling on the ground. The detailed information is currently being summarized urgently. This subordinate has come to report in advance. In a moment, the information will be sent to the master of the Heavenly Wolf clan. The huge snake shadow hissed as it crawled in the void in front of the Heavenly Wolf hall. Go. Grandmaster Skywolf instructed. Yes. The gigantic snake immediately flew out of the space-time controlled by the Heavenly Wolf hall respectfully before teleporting away. The Heavenly Wolf Lord stood silently in front of the Heavenly Wolf Palace. Moments later, information was transmitted to him through the virtual realm. Although the communication system of the demonic race was far inferior to that of the humans and the machinery race, they were still one of the peak races. Through plundering and many other methods, they had set up the most basic communication system. Existences like the Lord of the Universe could easily receive information from hundreds of millions of light years away, even without the virtual realm. Buzz. A 3D projection appeared in space. The leader of Sky Wolf watched from afar. The 3D projection showed the scene of Luo Feng and Bei Shan the Reverend confronting each other at the treasure ground. It's him. From the look in his eyes, it's him. The Sky Wolf leader muttered to himself. He had personally seen Luo Feng before. Maybe the absolute beings of the other races would still have their suspicions after receiving the information, but the Sky Wolf leader was able to discern the truth with just one look. What kind of ability was he? His eyes were like the window to the soul. Just looking at Luo Feng's eyes, the Sky Wolf leader was able to discern. He actually went to the Ancestor God Sect. How shrewd. It's just that the human race didn't shelter him within their race. Since he's in the Ancestor God Sect, he'll definitely be there for a long time. The insect race and the machine race have probably gotten the information as well. Maybe they will make the first move. Killing this Saber River King in the Ancestor God Sect's territory is not a small price. Let them make the first move. The Celestial Wolf Lord's jade-green eyes flashed with a cold light as he pondered how to deal with this future pillar of humanity. The Sky Wolf leader had personally seen Luo Feng. He was very sure that the genius human had a 100% chance of entering the Undying Realm. As for becoming a universe venerable, that was a huge hurdle. No matter who it was, breaking through from Undying to supremacy was a huge hurdle. For instance, True Yin had been stuck at the final step for countless years. King Chapman, for example, had been a peerless genius comparable to the Seven Sword Kings back then, but in the end he had been tormented by that step for 1,000,000,000,000 years and had become low-key. Like the Chasing Bug King, he was a unique life form in the universe. He was tyrannical and incomparably strong. In terms of combat power, he could suppress a portion of the universe supremacies at the immortal realm. He was even favored by the Ancestral God Sect. Of course, the Ancestor God Sect focused on nurturing it, but unfortunately, it was still stuck at that step. Even the number one force in the Ancestral God Sect was unable to help it break through. Mountain Sitting Guest once said that precious resources were very helpful in breaking through to the Paragon level. However, the price was too high and the success rate was not 100%. The Blade River King was dazzling. But compared to the insect monarch, a unique life form in the universe, it was still somewhat inferior. For a realm lord to kill a Peak Conferred King, he must have many secrets. If he becomes a universe lord and reaches a higher level of universe lord, he'll probably have the battle prowess of a universe lord. Who knows, he might become another Skyshire Palace lord. He might even be stronger than the Skyshire Palace lord, Lord Skywolf thought to himself. He's even more threatening than a universe lord. To the opposing races, a universe supremacy with universe lord strength was indeed more of a threat than a true universe lord. Because if a universe lord died, no one could revive. But if a universe supremacy died, even someone as strong as the Tianshire Palace Master, and the Primal Chaos City Master might not have the ability to reverse spacetime and revive, but one of the strongest in the universe, the Creator Axe, could definitely revive. A super existence that wasn't afraid of death and could revive, how big of a threat was that? From undying to universe supremacy is a hurdle. If this Blade River King can't break through, and the humans insist on helping him, they will have to pay a huge price. The humans might not be able to bear it, and even if they were willing, they might not be able to guarantee success. The Skywolf Lord viewed the Blade River King with great importance, but he was still far from being a threat. Let's wait and see if the Bug Race and Automaton Race make the first move. The Bug Race and Automaton Race received the news on the same day. The 4 of the 6 pinnacle races, the humans, automaton, bug and demon, were all very close to each other, hence their battles were extremely intense. With a terrifying genius emerging from the enemy race, naturally they would want to destroy him as soon as possible. The demon race and bug race will probably make the first move, there's no rush. The automaton race's thoughts. The humans definitely have a way to protect the Blade River King, we have to plan carefully. The bug race's thoughts. Only these 3 pinnacle races were the most anxious, the other powers in the universe that were on par with the Great Alliance were all watching. As for the weaker powers like the 9 Domains Alliance, they were all happy to watch the 4 pinnacle races fight to the death. Glory World in the open plaza. Luo Feng and the Great Alliance's inheritors were gathered together, very quickly making friends with many strong warriors. Our Great Alliance has so few inheritors. Luo Feng couldn't help but say. Very few. The human Li Shua King, who was sitting by the side, nodded. However, only a portion of them are gathered at the outdoor plaza, about a quarter of the total number. We humans have very few of them. The main reason is that the Ancestral God Sect treats the countless races with equal treatment. They distribute them according to the territory, number of undying, etc. Hence, we humans are at a disadvantage. And the Great Alliance mainly absorbs the elites. Other than the vassal races, there are also the stronger races. Luo Feng nodded. Within the Great Alliance there were indeed a few strong races, they all had universe lords within them. Our Great Alliance doesn't have many races, hence the number of inheritors is relatively low. Li Shua Emperor said. The Beast God inheritance is only one of the paths to becoming a strong warrior. Emperor Chaman shook his head. Within the Ancestral God Sect, we humans are weaker, that only means our Beast God inheritance is weaker. Li Shua Emperor, Emperor Chaman were both humans. Back then they had limitless glory, now they weren't as sharp as before. The most infuriating thing is, it's too hard for us to earn enough glory points. Emperor Chaman shook his head hatefully. Because we humans have the virtual universe, we are the envy of countless races in the universe. Especially in the glory world, many of the other races don't even challenge us. We challenge them, they don't accept, not battling. Naturally we can't earn glory points, without enough glory points we can't exchange for the inheritance. Li Shua Emperor raised his wine glass. We can only challenge within the Great Alliance, however the number of inheritors of the same level are few, plus we know each other's strengths, we know we are weaker, naturally we don't accept the challenge. Challenge? Luo Feng nodded. He had read the Black Book before, he knew the rules. The glory world was split into the open plaza and the battle world. In the battle world, one could earn glory points but at the same time they could lose. Every newbie had 3 glory points, the minimum bet for every battle was 1 glory point. One had to first send out a challenge, for example, if the opponent agreed, only then would the battle begin. After battle, the accumulated glory points would reach 100. Every 100 glory points could be exchanged for 1 inheritance chance. If there are no other races, they won't accept the challenge. To accumulate 100 glory points, how hard is that? Even if there are occasionally challenges, they are all extremely strong, we'd be stupid to accept them, at least with similar strength we'd only accept them. Emperor Chaman shook his head and sighed. Difficult, earning glory points is too difficult. Emperor Li Shua said. Beside, Emperor Chinyu laughed. I'm still alright, unlike you humans who are isolated due to jealousy, I still have many battles. However, only by winning can I earn glory points, losing is just a loss. When we first arrive, we only have 3 glory points, the moment we lose them all, then we'll have to wait an era for a new glory point to be born. After that we can continue the battle. If we lose again, we'll still have to wait an era for a new glory point to be born. If we lose it all 3 times, then the 4th time, we'll need 10,000 eras to get 1 more glory point. If we lose it all 3 times, then the 7th time, we'll need 100 million eras to get 1 more glory point. That's why everyone is very careful. When you're in a battle, you'll only be willing to bet big if you're confident of winning. However, your opponent knows that you're strong, so they won't just nod their heads like idiots. That's why most battle bets are 1 glory point. Only in rare cases will there be slightly larger bets. How hard is it to accumulate 100 glory points? Emperor Chinyu shook his head and sighed. Even though there are many inheritors besides the free inheritance, to use glory points to exchange for the beast god inheritance is too difficult. Don't be too happy, there are still other races that have challenged you. Emperor Chaman said. There aren't many challenges, most of them are stronger than me. Emperor Chinyu said helplessly. Luo Feng listened beside, immediately feeling that it was rather difficult to exchange for glory points. At this time, in the distance, the inheritors of the other races were scattered, however many of them noticed the Blade River Emperor. Glory World's Black Book, there's a new person amongst the three inheritors, the Black Book records the time he first entered Glory World, he's called Blade River, there's even a note saying it's human, it's definitely that Blade River Emperor. First time entering Glory World. Right, a new person. The different races all looked over from afar. He's just a realm lord. It's impossible for him to kill a peak stage Regis just by relying on his comprehension of the laws and secret arts. He must have some sort of treasure or some other miraculous encounters. In the Glory World, everyone uses the same divine body strength. Even Insect King Chasing uses the same divine body as us. He doesn't have any innate talents or secret arts, and he has to use the weapons set by the Glory World. Even precious treasures are not allowed. Even that Bug Emperor in Glory World has been defeated by many strong warriors. This Blade River Emperor, a 3 inheritor. Challenge. Haha, I'll challenge too to bully the legendary Blade River Emperor, it'll be very interesting. I want to properly trample on this Blade River Emperor. Let's see how much pain this human absolute genius will suffer. From the trillions of races in the universe, countless absolute geniuses and inheritors from different powers, very quickly began to challenge Blade River. Luo Feng was currently chatting with Emperor Chinyu, Emperor Chaman and Emperor Li Shura. Wait. Luo Feng felt the floating black book beside him slightly tremble, he immediately flipped it open. Luo Feng stared wide-eyed. In the challenge letter column, the number behind it was 10,232, and it was still rising. 12,000, 13,000, 14,000, 20,000. The numbers were rising very quickly. Luo Feng had just heard Emperor Chaman and Li Shua talk about how difficult it was to receive a challenge. However, in a blink of an eye, the number he received was simply soaring. In a blink of an eye, the number had jumped by a few hundred. With just a few seconds of flipping through the black book, it had already exceeded 30,000. I just entered Glory World and flipped through the black book, the challenge letters were still blank, this is too fast. Luo Feng was overwhelmed by the numbers. When Luo Feng first entered Glory World and gave himself a name, only then did Glory World truly have the identity of Blade River. Before this, even if the other races wanted to challenge the Blade River Emperor, they couldn't find a target. Now that Luo Feng had appeared in the plaza of Glory World, the news spread like wildfire, almost everyone knew. There were naturally many who wanted to spar with the legendary absolute genius Blade River Emperor, and Luo Feng was a 3rd level beast god inheritor, and amongst the inheritors, there were obviously the most at the 3rd level. There were a total of over 100 million inheritors. Amongst which, the Universe Knights were extremely rare, the number of Emperor-level undying inheritors still numbered in the hundreds of millions. The absolute geniuses that had trained for trillions of years, almost all of them had reached the 3rd level, many of them had already reached the peak of the 3rd level and were beginning to comprehend the 4th level, for example Tru Yen was a 4th level inheritor. Hence, the 3rd level inheritors were the most. Next were the 4th level inheritors. Then the 2nd level inheritors. 5th level inheritors. 6th level inheritors. 7th level inheritors. 1st level inheritors. The 7th level inheritors represented the level of the Tianshi Palace leader, incomparably close to the guardian beast god level, their numbers were extremely few, only a few tens. As for the first inheritors, they had the least number of inheritors, 0. Even those that had just arrived usually had some foundation, there wasn't a single 1st level. Changyu Emperor, Li Shua Emperor and Chaman Emperor all noticed Luo Feng staring at the black book. What are you looking at? Changyu Emperor shouted. Who? Luo Feng looked at his 3 good friends from the Great Alliance, with so many other races challenging him, news would spread quickly, there was no need to hide it, he said softly, I've received many challenge letters. Many? Li Shua Emperor, Chaman Emperor and Changyu Emperor were stunned. How many? 100. He hurriedly shook his head, Dao He, your fame is simply too great. You are able to kill peak-level king-ranked existences as a world overlord, and your inheritors are from the millions and millions of races in the universe. All of them are absolute geniuses. If they don't truly fight against you, many of them wouldn't be convinced. In fact, they would even want to use this opportunity to trample on you. There will definitely be many battle invitations. You have just entered the Glory World and you will most probably receive over 1,000. Emperor Chaman and Thousand Rain Emperor looked at Luo Feng. More than 50,000. Luo Feng said in a low voice. At the same time he had already blocked off the surrounding area. Sounds from the outside could enter but not from the inside. 50,000? King Shua's eyes widened. 50,000. King Chapman's expression was very complicated. He had been on Circus Island for a very long time, but he had fought less than 1,000 battles. So many it's only been a while. Thousand Rain King was also stunned. Looks like. King Chapman was a little disappointed. I underestimated the determination of those despicable foreign races to fight you. Your fame is simply too great, and you are only a sector lord. In the Glory World there are many treasures and treasures in the outside world. When the time comes, you will be at a disadvantage. Firstly, they want to fight you, the absolute genius of the trillions of races in the universe. Secondly, they want to bully you. Thirdly, they think they are stronger than you. Luo Feng looked at the black book. The battle invitations had already exceeded 60,000. There seemed to be many foreign races wanting to fight him. Dao He, you are a third-level inheritor. Thousand Reign Emperor said. And in the entire inheritance grounds, the third and fourth level inheritors add up to more than 99% of the inheritors, of which the third level inheritors have the most, over 90 million. Even if only 1% of them challenge you, there will be 900,000 invitations. Luo Feng nodded. However, you have to be careful, don't accept them easily. Queen Xinyu immediately said solemnly, in the battle in the glory world, all the inheritors will use the same god body, a god body with 100,000 times the strength of the sector lord. They can choose their looks and build, but their strength is the same. Their weapons have to be chosen in the glory world too, they are all normal weapons, hence the external conditions are the same for all the inheritors. Your treasures and treasures from the outside world, along with some special techniques from your fortuitous encounters, they will all disappear. Even during battle you can only use the fusion laws. Thousand Reign Emperor said. In the battle world of the glory world, if you use other laws they will be useless. You have to use the fusion laws to produce power. Luo Feng listened carefully. Just like Bug Emperor, he is a unique life form in the universe. However, in the battle world of the glory world, he doesn't have that heaven-defying god body, no terrifying talents and techniques, no treasures etc. Hence he becomes normal. Back then he was only above average amongst the third-level inheritors. By the time he became a fourth-level inheritor, he would be below average. Thousand Reign Emperor said. Right. Emperor Chaman creased his eyebrows. And a sector lord's consciousness is much weaker than an undying's. You will be at a disadvantage. Blade River Emperor. Li Shuo Emperor said. The other races are all absolute geniuses from the various races of the universe. In terms of techniques, there are quite a few who have created their own absolute arts. There are even a few who have created their own ultimate arts. In terms of origin law comprehension, amongst the third-level inheritors, there are probably some close to perfection. In terms of body amplification, which of these geniuses doesn't have any? In terms of willpower and consciousness, they are all at the pinnacle. Luo Feng took a deep cold breath as he heard. Ultimate arts? For him to be able to create his own absolute art, he was already praised by the primal Chaos City leader. In this place where over 100 million absolute geniuses from the various races of the universe gathered, Luo Feng wasn't surprised that there were quite a few who could create their own absolute arts. However, there were actually a few who created their own ultimate arts. That really shocked Luo Feng. Of course, the absolute arts they created were only the first few forms, but they were still terrifying. The Ancestral God Sect gathers the absolute geniuses from the trillions of races in the universe. Different races, different talents, different life forms. Some are heaven-defying in terms of their bodies, some have heaven-defying techniques. It's not strange for a few of them to create their own absolute arts. Luo Feng thought. He had forgotten. He was the true genius in the eyes of countless other races. There are many invitations, you can't casually accept them. Once you accept, you have to fight. Until you lose all your glory points, only then can you cancel the challenge. Emperor Chaman emphasized, you have to be careful. Luo Feng nodded. At this time there was a ruckus in the distance. Blade River Emperor, the demon race Yanjing Emperor challenges you. Do you dare to accept? Blade River Emperor, I'll let you bet. Aha, you probably only have 3 glory points. I'll bet 3 glory points with you. Do you dare? I really doubt if you even have that kind of strength. You're so famous, I'm afraid it's all because of luck. You don't have any true strength. All sorts of voices spoke in the human language. Some were loud, some were sharp, some were low, some were like thunder, some were hoarse with echoes. In an instant, the entire plaza was filled with different races challenging each other. Right, they were challenging each other. Geniuses? They were all absolute geniuses from their own races. Especially in the battle world where they abandoned all treasures and special techniques. Under these circumstances, how could they easily submit to a sector lord? Do you think that Saber River King will accept the challenge? The tall and thin expert with 9 green leaves on his head asked. Maybe he'll get hot-headed and fight once or twice. However, after he loses, he'll understand the strength of the other races. There will definitely be many who want to challenge him. Even though the 3 of us are challenging him, I don't think it'll be our turn. He only has 3 glory points, he'll lose them all very quickly. Once he loses them all, he won't be able to fight anymore. These 3 experts, whose skin was a mixture of green and black, had green leaves on their heads, and their skin was like tree bark, were talking to each other. These were the plant life form mortal spirit race. They had no gender and relied on the mortal spirit ancestor tree to give birth to their descendants. The absolute geniuses from the various races had indeed roused LuoFeng's fighting spirit. However, he was still rational and didn't dare to underestimate these foreign race geniuses. These weren't the average warriors from the alien battlefields. There were many of them who had created their own pinnacle techniques, much less their own ultimate techniques. It's still climbing. Luo Feng looked at the black book. The number had already exceeded 100,000. Emperor Chaman. Luo Feng suddenly said. Blade River. Emperor Chaman looked at him. I have an idea. Luo Feng said, give me your virtual universe number. I'll leave Glory World later and enter the virtual universe to contact you. How about we spar in the virtual universe? Ah, alright. Emperor Chaman's eyes gleamed. Smart. Emperor Shua laughed too. Right, virtual universe, let's spar in the virtual universe. Blade River Emperor, you should first understand your own strength. Amongst the entire third level inheritors, just what level you're at. After which you can choose your opponent. Count me in. Emperor Chaman and I are considered above average third level inheritors. If you fight us, it'll be very easy to find your own position. I'll join too. Chiu Rain Emperor said. I'm from the Great Alliance, I too have a virtual universe number. Haha, then I'll have to thank the three of you. Luo Feng said. Receiving so many battle requests, Luo Feng's heart was itching. How could he bear to give up so easily? Who knew when the next time he would receive so many battle requests would be? After finding out Emperor Shua, Chiu Rain and Emperor Chaman's virtual universe numbers, Luo Feng's consciousness left Glory World and quickly connected to the virtual universe. Virtual universe, Great Alliance City's training grounds. The training grounds was a vast mountain range. Luo Feng stood on a mountain peak and on the other three peaks stood three silhouettes. Chiu Rain Emperor, Shua Emperor and Emperor Chaman. Blade River, don't lose too badly. Emperor Chaman and the other two inheritors' eyes burned with fighting spirit. A long time ago the three of them were as dazzling as the 7 Blade Emperors and Dream Sway Emperor. It's just that they'd been quiet for far too long. However, in terms of strength they would only be stronger.